Well, we played a DVD roulette again, and look what it landed on. Hopefully, hopefully the theme song did not get cut by the evil people at Disney. So yes, we are going. I am going to now review the wonderful show Goof Troop, and I believe this did air in the afternoons, and then I believe they moved it to Saturday mornings. I really thought I watched this before I went to school, but I will review this wonderful pilot episode right after this.
New Thunder Jets fruit snacks are taking off with Super Fruity F-16s, F-14 Tomcats, SR-71 spy planes, MiG-27s, and the super cool stealth bomber. So top secret it's not in every pouch. All zooming way past mega scrumptious with a sonic boom of real fruit taste. New powerfully good Thunder Jets, the fruit snack that goes fast.
Well, apparently I had to give another crash course on these wonderful fruit snacks that came out in 1989, but I don't know when they were discontinued. I couldn't find that part. But from what I remember, I stopped eating this right around when my wonderful bride-to-be, who was born in 1994, I believe I probably stopped eating these in 1993. So yes, that is why she's never heard of them. So, and I actually forgot about these, but I do remember them being quite tasty. And yeah, there were some pretty cool planes in there. Mystery one. You know that I don't remember. I think maybe the mystery one maybe a couple times might have been the Blue Angels. So yeah, it was a nice blue color with yellow on top. So yes, we got that wonderful blue 1 and yellow 5. So I'm sure my kidneys were saying this might taste good, but you are killing us in here. So stop eating them. And I didn't. So moving on, like these were quite tasty, but now we are moving on to something else that I really this was an interesting show in my wonderful childhood called Goof Troop.
Never heard of it.
But you've heard of a Goofy movie, an extremely Goofy movie, and
Yes,
this was sort of based on that. So,
Nope.
and we have Bill Farmer, who was the voice of Goofy, and he was the voice of Yosemite Sam, and some others in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and he was also, of course, the voice of Goofy in a Goofy movie, an extremely Goofy movie, and I believe he was probably the voice of Goofy in Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas as well.
Are you thirsty?
We have some other recognizable names in the show as well. Rob Paulson was the voice of PJ.
Who?
He was the voice of Raphael in Ninja Turtles. And Jim Cummings is the voice of the wonderful Pete, and who's the antagonist of this show. And Jim Cummings was the voice of Darkwing Duck. And
Never
then
heard of it.
And then we have the very annoying Dana Hall, and she was the voice of Max. And she was in the Tom and Jerry movie. She was one of the voices in that. And I know that's not Max on the TV. That's very fat PJ. Um,
That was so
so, oh yes, and then she was also you might know the very annoying Dana Hall in European Vacation. She played Audrey.
Never heard of it.
The worst Audrey they ever casted was Dana Hall by far. She might as well be Tamron Hall. They are both just as annoying. So, and now we also have April Winchell as, I guess they call her, is it Mrs. Oh, it's Peggy Pete. Okay. And I already forgot what she was one of the voices in. I'm going to have to cheat. I can't believe I forgot. Oh, Mrs. Herman from Who Framed Roger Rabbit and on the show Recess.
No and yes.
And I know this is going to surprise everybody, but Frank Welker is back. He is the voice of Waffles.
What
And
the hell's a waffle?
You will just have to find out, I guess. So, so Frank Welker, of course, was in the Real Ghostbusters and several other things too. Scooby Doo, he was Fred, like I've said many times. So every cartoon I've looked up so far, Frank Welker has just popped up with a big smile on his face, and that's no joke because his picture is right on IMDb, smiling. So unfortunately, he looks like that toy hunter guy. So that is one thing that might be going against him, but I promise you, he's not as annoying. So Goof Troop here. This is a very interesting story. Is Goofy is a single parent. I know that's very scary. Goofy as a parent. How could what? Yes, very interesting indeed. What could go wrong? So he ends up moving next door to his, I guess, former classmate, supposed buddy, Pete, who is a. Yes, I know. I was shocked to read that as well. Well, maybe Goofy thought he was his friend, and clearly he's not. So Pete was, of course, a Christmas tree salesman in Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, and in this he is a used car salesman. So this just fits his character perfectly. Probably got his training from Ron Popeil and cousin Arnold, possibly Billy Mays as well. Maybe Guy Fieri in there as well. So he, of course, has his wonderful family next door, PJ, and his wonderful wife, and I believe he does have a daughter as well. And I know one of the episodes, I guess, Goofy and Pete argue, which is no big deal, which is pretty much. That's every episode, but I guess they want the best friends, PJ and Max, to not see each other anymore. So I will, from what I read, it is this episode, but it doesn't. Well, I'm trying to get them in line. Everything I've read has been wrong. So, the pilot episode I thought was the one where PJ and Max are not allowed to see each other anymore. But I will find out on the DVD. As I've said before, things online have been very mixed up, and some of them have been completely wrong. So they are probably written by Jeremy Johns. So now, since I already told the story, I will show the first clip, and we have PJ and Pete right off the bat. They had to widen the doors so Pete could actually get into PJ's room. So I will show that clip in just a second.
For sure. So, how's Daddy's little Einstein? Fine, Dad. Relatively speaking. It's a joke. Just trying to get this math thing through my head. Oh, you're
So here's the first clip here with Pete and his son PJ. And apparently PJ is not really ready for his math test, and his dad is about to explode, but I did not show that yet because it's Walt Disney and it is a 6 seconds rule. So I will show the next clip of his wonderful father blowing a gasket in just a second.
But now I got a son to and make my brains look bad. It's a simple equation. You're gonna pass that test if you have to study all night, see? Flunk. And you're grounded forever.
So this is wonderful. Pete here is not happy. So he eventually does leave the room and slams the door and threatens to ground PJ for a long time. I would hate to be in the house with the wonderful Pete. So just because he's cranky, because he's probably threatened already to have a few bypass surgeries because I'm sure that his heart is in very bad shape because he's carrying around a huge load and a lot of anger. So Pete then calls Max. So we get to meet PJ called Max to help him with his math. So we get to meet Max for the first time. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Hey, trust me, Pijano, my man. When I'm through, you'll make Einstein look like Harry Judy. Answer right, and you get this. Right. A fudgy wudgy bar. Your fave. Are you ready?
I'm trying to remember where we left. Action. So this is, I guess, PJ strapped to the bed here. This is a nice little contraption that Max made. So if he's a good little PJ, of course he gets chocolate fudge. Oof. I'm not surprised he eats that. Look at him in that bed. The bed is probably screaming in pain, and now Max is going to have his father, Goofy, buy him a new one. So PJ is obviously getting quite a treatment here. Then if he's bad, he gets eggs. So if he's wrong, which is bad, then he pretty much gets eggs to the face. So PJ is getting a full food treatment here. This should be the night of his dreams. So so now when he gets up in the morning, obviously he's really stressed out from cramming. I believe what happens is they miss the bus, so he has to make up the test, and now he's faking an illness. So let's see what happens when he tries to pull one over on his wonderful father, who is so smart. So I will show that clip in just a second.
You're disintegrating.
Well, so this is PJ faking an illness here. And wonderful Pete here actually falls for it and actually thinks his son is disintegrating. It's okay, Pete. He has your physique. There's a long way for him to go. So he goes to the hospital, and they end up thinking he has some type of weird disease. I forgot what they call it. Pus something. And they have pictures of it, and then Max, of course, comes to the rescue and breaks him out. And then of course Pete leaves his little broccoli behind. The doctors figure it out. They show it, and then of course PJ leaves a note of his last day. His dad doesn't read all of it, jumps to conclusions, and now Max is pretty much breaking Pete out of the hospital. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Jay! Hold together, son! Papa's coming!
So here's PJ wrapped up like a mummy. So Mix did a pretty good job. He got him out of the hospital, and then he, of course, untaped him. Pete thinks that his son is dying, so he is trying to find him to apologize. And I gotta say, Pete has a nice car, so he did find them at a burger joint. Once again, big surprise. So they have 3 hours until pretty much PJ is um, pretty much going to get his big consequences from his wonderful father. So this is, of course, not the episode I thought. I don't think this is the one that Disney showed on the pilot as well when I watched this back a few months ago. But it's okay. This is the one I'm showing. So Pete is driving his wonderful car, and unfortunately, he is stopped by law enforcement, probably from his reckless driving. Apparently, Pete got his driver's license in the wonderful state of Florida. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Hold it, Bob. I'm giving you a ticket for J driving. No, please.
Well, so this is Pete here getting pulled over by a cop. All Pete had to do was just say that he works for the local pizza joint, and the cop would have let him go because he works at a pizza joint, and I guess that they would probably give them deals, and he pretty much says that nobody messes with that kind of pizza. So Pete here apparently the cop wants his credit card, his discharge papers, and years served in the military. So he wants all these pieces of paper. So now maybe I take it back. Maybe Pete's from New York State if they want all that information. So now the wonderful children are still skipping out here. So Pete tends to get into some more trouble. So now he's back to his Florida driving, and the cop is probably getting ready to go into New York State mode and want lots more information now. So I will show you that clip in just a second. So here's a nice little chase here again. So the same cop pulls him over, and I can tell you right now, this cop has got to be laughing. So Pete's driving skills, I guess, are not that great. Uh, he's obviously worried that his son is going to just somehow fall apart. So now how he felt for that, I have no idea. So what happens is they go back to his house, and the doctor calls him up and says his kid has a great case of the faking. So now Pete knows that he's just faking his illness to get out of taking a math test. So after all that arguing, he goes back to saying you are grounded for life. So now we get to see PJ's mom for the first time, and she has PJ's report card. So is Pete going to blow another gasket, or is he going to become wonderful, jolly, and nice? Like he just got a thing of Garbelly gummy bear filled donuts. So we will find out in just a second.
Yahoo! My kid with my brains got my A! Son, we're gonna celebrate!
So this is the final clip here. So I got to say the parts with Pete are amusing. Um, obviously he's very happy that his son got the A. Of course, he gave himself the credit. This is typical Pete being Pete. So we do see PJ's mom in just what 10 seconds of this episode. So she came in. Well, Goofy got even shorter time than that. Goofy was just in his car with the Goofy bow tie. So apparently this was the pilot episode. Yeah, I do not remember this at all. So I am almost positive. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and you can please let me know in the comments. But I'm almost positive that this is the pilot episode here. Maybe just to be sure, I will check really, really, really fast. Sorry, we're getting the song in the background. Well, yep, this is the pilot episode. It is official. I just double checked it, and so this was the wonderful pilot with just a 2 seconds of Goofy. But we do have Max, Pete, and PJ. So obviously, this is the end of the episode where PJ does get good grades, and his dad is going to treat him to a whole bunch of stuff. PJ looks really uncomfortable. Um, so so I guess in some ways he gets to eat a whole lot of food. So maybe it is his dad's fault for making him kind of a chubby chunker. So if I had to review this as a pilot episode, um, well, this might. I'm actually very, very, very surprised by this. I am actually very disappointed. I expected at least a little bit of Goofy in this, and I thought that this show actually went off the air. Believe me, I threw a fit. I thought it was because of poor ratings. It was not. It was that it was apparently too expensive to license this out to the networks. So that is why it went off the air. It was economics, I guess. Because apparently, from what I read, this was a very popular show. I did, for the most part, enjoy it. Me and my brother did. We actually watched this in syndication, from what I just read, before we went to school. And believe me, we were very mad when they pulled this and replaced it with Transformers. We were not happy at all. So this is one that can be a very funny show, even though Goofy was not in this. There were parts of it that made me laugh, but as a pilot, this was disappointing. I would have to give this a C plus for a pilot episode. I don't think I would really be hooked on this. I would probably be angry that Goofy wasn't in this more. So that is why I'm giving this a C plus for a pilot. Um, I would recommend somebody maybe starting with episode 2. Maybe that one will be a little bit better because you can watch these on Disney Minus. But if you think I was too harsh with this, please let me know. Um, like I said, entertaining, but for a pilot, yeah, kind of poor. So it doesn't really grab you right off the bat. But this is something you can watch with your whole family because, like I said, this is a this is Goof Troop. This is not King of the Hill or The Simpsons or Capital Critters for that matter. So yeah, so please comment below, subscribe if you want, and thank you very much for watching.